But one of the big things is for massaging out your piriformis muscles, which can be very tight and painful, just like mine are right now. Oh my God. So, this is gonna be kind of an interesting one. This is gonna be nice and simple. I'm gonna show you guys all the stuff, the little like tools and things like that that I have accumulated like this, you know, over the years. Sorry. That I have accumulated over the years for just general wellness purposes. So there's going to be a point, hopefully, in your fitness journey. Let me there's going to be a point in your fitness journey where you're going to just start accumulating things in your house to, you know, for wellness purposes, to start fixing little aches and pains that you've developed in your body just over the course of your life. And these are little tools that, you know, you don't need all of them, but these are little tools that you can use. And for me, when it comes to wellness, I have always had the mentality that it's difficult to overspend on wellness as long as you're not getting ripped off. And of course, just like anything else, if you get the best deal that you can get in terms of a sale, coupons, whatever. I have, even if I am tight on money, I will spend the money to get whatever wellness thing. And whatever wellness thing, I'm not talking about ingestibles, I'm not talking about vitamins or supplements or whatever. I'm talking about things that, you know, you pretty much are gonna almost always massage your body or do something like that. But mechanical solutions to different issues that you might have with your body. And like I said, it's difficult to overspend on it because it's difficult to put a value on just feeling better, right? Just tackling aches and pains. If you don't realize that your shoulders are in pain all the time, it's gonna change your demeanor, it's gonna change your thought process, it's gonna change how you feel. And when you fix problems like back pain, knee pain, things that are nagging you that you just sort of cancel out because they're just always there, when you fix them, you feel a lot better, and you start to look at the world and behave differently. And so the depth of the effects that really beneficial wellness, like really active, actual, you know, real wellness, not bullshit books and vitamins, real wellness is almost infinite in value. So that's how my mentality has always been, is that if I have an ache or a pain and I think that there's a tool out there that I can get and use on myself, I'll just spend the money. You know, I'll try and get the cheapest thing, but I'm gonna spend the money. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about this. So we're gonna pull out of my basket a couple of different things. We're gonna start with this thing just because it was the biggest and it was there. So this is called a Theracane. If you go to just about any physical therapist clinic, you will probably see something like this. You could have somebody use it on you, but you're probably going to use this on yourself. This kind of looks like some type of weird 20 questions, you know, Reddit, what is this thing? But as soon as you see somebody use it, you're gonna know what it's for. So all these little nodes here are nodes of pain. No, actually, yes, they are. So what it is these little teeth or node things here are what you would use to massage out a knot in your body. So for example, let's say I had a knot here in my leg, in my quad, then I would press down on it and just sort of massage it out. So, and actually it turns out I do have one there. So I can press down and just start rolling it around. And this would give you like myofascial release, which is extremely important. A lot of times people kind of overvalue its importance, but it is extremely important for recovery and maybe solving muscle imbalances or tight muscles that are hurting you. So in the case yesterday, I went pretty hard on legs. It appears I didn't realize how hard I went, but I can push down here and give myself a little bit of a massage. And then the other thing you could do is you can use the flat side here, and you can kind of use it for like a classic, I mean, this is that great for it, but that classic rolling out your quads type of situation. There's also a little node here, so you can swing it around and start massaging your lower back or your shoulders. This is probably the most effective one, is pressing into your shoulder. You lock it in. You basically are fishing. It's like a fishing hook that you are putting into your back, and then you're just gonna twist and roll and try and massage out sore and tight muscles. And once again, I'm realizing I have not done this in a while. I should be doing this more often. But this is just, I think these things are normally like 15 bucks. They might be more expensive because for whatever reason, wellness stuff can get really idiotically expensive, but it's just a piece of plastic and you should be able to find one for pretty cheap. There's gonna be all kinds of different versions of this. Let me just make sure you guys can really see what it looks like. But yeah, I'm very effective. The other thing is you can use this thing here to massage your psoas or your hip flexors. It's gonna look super weird and awkward, but basically you would put this into where your hip flexors are and start massaging that out. I have found that massaging my hip flexors is actually much more beneficial than stretching them out. And that's something we can get into in another video because it's very complicated. But yep, this is the Theracane. And yeah, so next thing is just a regular workout band. I don't always have this in my basket here. A lot of times I have this in my gym bag and I take it to the gym. I use this for all kinds of stuff. One of the biggest things though, that when I'm just like around the house is I'm always moving. I'm always just kind of doing stuff at my house. And so I'll use this and just sort of start stretching my shoulders out, or I will pull it across. And this is really good for stretching out your chest, stretching out your shoulders, and fixing poor back problems. So this morning I woke up, I went pretty hard on chest yesterday. And so my shoulders were somewhat pronated inwards, and I could just feel a little bit of pressure on my shoulder. So I just started doing these. I just started pulling out the rubber band here and stretching out, and that alleviated it pretty quickly for me because my shoulder posture is usually pretty good. But if you don't have good shoulder posture, this is probably something you want to do all the time. You want to just kind of take a band like this, move it behind you, move it in front of you, maybe even do like a disco dance type of situation. But you really want to be pulling your shoulders back and isometrically holding. That's isometric, just means holding, and you're just going to be holding out in this position. I try to imagine that I'm trying to rip the band. Be careful with it though, because if your band is not strong enough, you might actually rip it and you might get an injury, because when these snap, they are very powerful, and I've known people that hurt themselves soon. So try not to actually rip it. This is like a Brookstone style self-massager thing. I have had this for a while. I think I got this for like 20 bucks. This thing's great. I've got a better one though, so I don't really use this as much anymore, but it's got all kinds of little heads on it that you can change it up. This is a bit superficial compared to some of the other ones I've used, so I don't really use this as much, but the nice thing is there's a plug, so no battery, so you can do it forever and ever. This is a really weird one that almost nobody ever has. I have a lot of neck pain because of just weird sleeping issues. And so I bought this. This is a neck massager. And this is almost too effective. It is almost like brutal how much it massages your neck. So you just take this, put it around, and just start massaging in and out. And you can do all kinds of stuff. You can pull down towards your chest. You can squeeze, clamp down. And it is just absolutely brutal. It is just a serious, I mean, you want to talk about a massage. This is abusive. Like it is, and of course the release then afterwards is incredible. But in the moment, it can be very, very intense. It's got these little golf ball rubber like grips on them. And yeah, they work. It works really well. Again, don't use this as much. I probably should. I probably will use it more, but I don't use this as much for various reasons. These are some of the heads for the massage thing, various heads that you can use. This is a measure I use to, I think I literally got it to measure my biceps, but I don't really do that as much these days. These are some grip trainers, but I don't really use these as much either. You can definitely use these. One, because I've kind of outgrown them. They're a bit weak for me. So if anybody wants them, I can give you one. Yeah, I do a lot of dead hangs and things like that, so I pretty quickly outgrew these. So these are some smaller bands, and these bands, a lot of people like to put them around their legs. You probably don't want to put them around your legs. These are not strong enough for your legs. If you're like me and you are part Wolverine, you know, they're gonna pull at your hairs and things like that, and you're gonna have a bad time. So what is probably best, you can do a bunch of different things, but I like to actually have these near my desk, and I will do little external rotation exercises. So external rotation is absolutely key for good shoulder health and shoulder posture. Same deal basically, just if you're doing chest workouts all the time, if you're sitting in this position all the time, your chest is gonna just start pulling your shoulders inwards. Your shoulders are gonna be rotated inwards. And when you have an imbalance is just bad. Just think about the force, right? Everything needs to be balanced, your body needs to be balanced. And I'm always shocked at how much pain and aches in people's bodies really are just some type of imbalance. So one of the biggest shoulder imbalances is people rotating inwards all the time and never externally rotating. So there's a couple different ways you can do external rotation. This is not necessarily the most effective, but it's a really easy one that you can do all the time. So I'll take it out like this, and I'll just try to rotate. So you wanna focus on the rotation of your humerus, right? So this bone right here, you want to focus on it literally spinning. You want to think about that almost and only. Don't think about your wrists. Don't think about anything else other than just rotating out your humerus. Then what you can do also is you can take this and move it upwards and just try and stay, as you can hear by my voice, it's kind of difficult. You can stay in a somewhat rotated position, an externally rotated position. It's not like a full external rotation, but it helps you pull apart. You just want to focus on pulling your arms apart, and that's really, really good for your shoulder health. One of the biggest things that almost everybody should do, everybody should have, is lacrosse balls. If there's only one thing you're gonna get here is get some lacrosse balls. I've got all mine for free because I play a lot of sports, and when I go to a soccer field or something like that, they just have them there on the ground and I steal them. You can judge me, but I don't know. Just go ahead and judge me. You can juggle them if you know how to juggle, which I apparently don't. The biggest thing is, you can use them to massage out all different things in your body. But the biggest thing people probably should be using them for is massaging out your feet. So one thing people don't realize is a lot of foot pain really just chalks up to muscle tension in the bottom of your foot. A lot of times your calves are tight because of the muscles in your foot. If you have a job where you stand all day, this could be really, really important for you. If you run and or walk by heel striking, this heel striking meaning like this, you will probably build up more tension in the fascia under your feet. So this would be the plantar region right here under your foot. So when you hear plantar fasciitis, they're talking about the muscles and fascia in the bottom of your foot here. And this is a very, very tender spot for a lot of people because of the amount of stress that they built up. And a lot of bad things can happen when the stress builds up for too long. Recently my feet were hurting me because I haven't been doing my calf raises a lot lately, and I haven't been massaging them out. So I just grabbed one of these and just started massaging it out. And yeah, it is extremely effective. Same concept though, the more painful it is, the more beneficial it will be, the better the release is. There are 6 layers of muscle in the bottom of your feet. You could have a very, what they would call it, superficial muscle issue, like literally closer to the skin. Or you could have an issue like a knot or just tension that is built up that is 6 layers deep in your foot. So sometimes you gotta really put your whole body into it. You gotta really push down and really make it painful and just roll it around. This is what, if you go to a podiatrist, a foot doctor, this is gonna be one of the most common recommendations you're gonna get. If you don't have foot pain, it's probably a good idea to do it anyway because it is just gonna help with a little bit of ankle mobility, a little bit of calf mobility, that type of thing. But yeah, so the simple lacrosse ball is one of the most effective things that you can have in your wellness toolkit. So let's move on. All right, so next thing I'm gonna show you 2 different things. So you guys probably know what this is. You see these at the gym. These are foam rollers, okay? I basically can't use this anymore because there's a thing where I guess over time you just become immune to foam rollers, and This is the toughest foam roller I have ever found, and it is too soft for me. It just doesn't get in there. I am very aggressive about my recovery. I'm very aggressive in general, but I'm very aggressive about my recovery. This is just not, doesn't cut it for me. So I have to use this thing. This is just a regular PVC pipe. The thinner it is, the smaller the diameter, the more painful it is. And I use this for all kinds of stuff. I use this a little bit for my back, but it's probably not, you probably don't want to do that, especially if you don't really know what you're doing. But one of the big things is for massaging out your piriformis muscles, which can be very tight and painful, just like mine are right now. Oh my God. And these are another place, oh my Lord, that build up a lot of tension. And this is one where when you massage this out, you are gonna feel the difference afterwards. You feel amazing. Like your whole way that you walk, everything is really different. Is this fun? I hope this is fun. I hope this is good content, watching me hurt myself. Someone's gotta enjoy this, right? Yeah, holy cow, I have not done this enough, or something happened. But yeah, I mean, I build up, I still have chronically weak medial glutes as hard as I try. And so I built up a lot of tension. And the piriformis is a little muscle. It's in your butt cheek. It can fuck shit up because that's a big source of pain because the sciatic nerve runs through it. The sciatic nerve runs from the bottom of your back all the way down your leg. So a lot of times people describe having a shooting pain or a numbness sensation. One of the problems can be that you have an inflamed piriformis muscle because our bodies have a lot of weird flaws in them. They have a lot of weird design flaws, and one of them is that particular muscle, the piriformis butt muscle, can get inflamed, and because it is wrapped around the sciatic nerve, it can crush that nerve and cause a lot of pain. And some people, even if they're really unfortunate, they actually have the muscle, they have the nerve going straight through the muscle, which means that no matter what, when they just use that muscle, they're gonna be in a little bit of pain. But that's a whole different thing. A lot of people, you got a different situation. So you can use it for this. I also use this for my quads. But yeah, I really, oh my God. Jesus fucking Christ. It's hard to understate the benefit of something like that. Holy cow. Other thing that happens to me for whatever reason is my triceps always cramp up when I'm doing that. Enough of that. I'm gonna do more of that on my own time so I don't humiliate myself. I have a smaller version of this. I use this for my foot as well. I use this for basically all the same stuff. The other thing about this I forgot to mention is I also use this for, same deal, massaging my feet. But I also like to, while I'm watching TV, practice my balance on it. Yeah, I'll just kind of like pretend like I'm surfing, doing stuff. And what's interesting about this is that you're simultaneously massaging your feet while you, come on. You're massaging your feet while you work on your balance. I mean, I did a lot of yoga and stuff like that back in the day, and I did a lot during quarantine, but I don't do so much of it. Now I use it for stuff like this and doing ab wheel. So next thing is obviously ab wheel. Just kind of rolling out, pushing myself up through my hips. Another good thing to do would be to twist, right, to roll out in different angles and hold. A lot of people completely extend straight out. I'm sure there's some benefit to that, but if you're looking to strengthen your core in a very practical way, like for example, your pelvic tilt, which is really the big thing for most people, is having your hips push forwards. I still don't have great pelvic tilt, but basically what I'm talking about is pushing your hips under you. If you want to develop that, you probably don't want to fully extend out when you're doing ab wheel. Next thing, I'm gonna show you this. This is a weird tool. This is the weirdest tool I have. I have very, very tight groin muscles, and my New Year's resolution was just a year of movement and mobility. and I wanted to be able to do a split. Well, it's August. I'm not gonna be able to do a split. I'm very far away from it. So what I've been doing is, I don't use this one as much. I actually use the adduction machine at the gym. But essentially the idea here is you put your feet into these positions here, and I think you can already figure out where this is going, is you use this to pull your legs apart, and you just hold in a groin in a groin stretching position. I was so immobile that at first I couldn't even do this. This is why I have this rope here. It's because you're supposed to be able to reach this, but that is just how tight I am. And then I guess you would just isometrically hold for about a minute. So yeah, I'm sure this will work for a lot of people, but for me, I've got too far to go for this to make a difference. And then one more thing, this thing. All right, so massage guns are like the latest wellness fad. Here's the deal about these things. They are good, but they're probably not worth every single person going out and spending. This was 120 bucks. I got it on sale. I do really love this thing, but I have learned over time that it's not as beneficial as I originally thought. So this is percussion massaging, and you get the gist of it. I mean, it's basically, they're all basically various dildo looking things or power tool looking things. I guess it's the same thing. But this one's nice because it's got an ergonomic handle, so you can massage yourself with it. The thing about it is, these things are beneficial, but they're probably not worth the price of admission for most people. At first I was kind of like, yeah, everybody should get one of these. But you very quickly start to see that it, like, compared to myofascial release with, you know, using the lacrosse balls and all that, those are a little bit better. Well, they're just different. They're just different. There's just different ways of massaging and alleviating tension. The other big thing is that nothing replaces sleep. So a lot of this stuff you do need to massage out the bottom of your feet. You do need to massage out, you know, your piriformis and whatnot, regardless. But there's a lot of muscle tension that you can just alleviate with good sleep. So in the commercials, you'll see them massaging their biceps. It's probably just because it looks good, and in slow-mo, that's where the biggest muscle is gonna flap around and things like that. I use this for my soleus, under my calf muscle here. Yeah, I mean, does it work? Does it alleviate tension? Sure, but in many instances, you would actually just be better off sleeping it off, taking magnesium pills, sleeping 10, maybe even 12 hours, and the muscle recovery that you will have would be far, far, far more beneficial than something like this. So I do use this. I would say this is better for alleviating systemic issues like that you might have, like if you have pain in your neck, but it isn't gonna fix anything. That's one of the big things is, you know, if you have a tight muscle, like if one side of your neck is tight, it's gonna alleviate the pain for a day or two, but it's probably gonna come back. Whereas like a real massage, if you do it enough, is probably going to help you lengthen those muscles, so that if you have like one muscle like on your neck here, you can massage that out, maybe lengthen a little bit, but more realistically you want to strengthen the opposing muscles, so that your neck would, or whatever muscle would balance out. One thing I found for this, so I want to get this thing called the Pso-Rite, but they're also oddly expensive. And so I realized very quickly, because of this head, I can just use this. Again, this is gonna look really weird, but whatever, we're talking about massage. And basically, this, it's gonna look like I'm playing with myself, but I use this to massage my hip flexors, and it works. So when I have back pain, because I have a lot of chronic back pain, one of the ways I can alleviate that back pain is by relaxing my hip flexors, like my psoas and whatnot, because they become very inflamed and start pulling down on my spine. This is the Renpho. If you are looking for a Massage gun, this is a very good one. I kind of wish it was more powerful and more aggressive because, like I said, I'm very aggressive about my recovery. So I wish this was more aggressive and more percussion-like, but it's very, very good. I love the ergonomic handle, you know, that you can grab it in any position. I love that you can maneuver this around. You know, you can drive it in, you can do all kinds of stuff. If you want to massage somebody else, that's going to also make things better, being able to push into somebody or being able to, you know, drive down, you know, hook, that type of thing. So this design is very, very smart and very effective. Easy to remove battery, and I guess you could get multiple batteries if you were like, maybe, I don't know, if you were like a real therapist, you might use something like this, but you probably wouldn't do it all the time because, like I said, it's not necessarily the most effective, like most results-driven tool. So now I'm gonna show you a couple other things. Okay, next couple things are gonna be just another little rubber band here, same deal. This could be pretty cheap, but I like to use this for external rotation is one of the big ones, just isometrically holding an external rotation. Just kind of random stuff, but this little ribbon thing is just very beneficial to have. Now, this was probably my first major wellness purchase. I got this off of Craigslist. You can get them off of Craigslist all over the place. This was like 50 bucks. It's kind of broken a little bit, but it does the job. This is called an inversion table. Inversion table is literally that. It's just you lay on it and then you are inverted. You hang upside down. So I hop in this thing and I just roll back and I hang upside down. Next one we're gonna do, and this will be, well no, this won't be the final one, but this will be, the last one is this $10 pull-up bar I got. Everybody should have these. I know they're not the prettiest thing in the world, but everybody should have something like this. Same concept, most minimal thing is just doing dead hangs. As I said before, this is the most beneficial thing you can do, probably the most beneficial thing you can do for your shoulder health. If there's nothing else you do dead hangs, right? And you know, in terms of bang for your buck, doing pull-ups is arguably the biggest one. So I mean, if you put your feet forward like this and you pull yourself up and you slowly lower, there are so many different things that you're going to be benefiting at the same time. So with my feet forward, I'm getting basically like a plank core workout. I'm getting a very strong bicep workout. I'm getting a lat workout, a back workout. And when I hang at the bottom here, I'm actually stretching my lats in addition to improving my shoulder mobility. And the other weird thing is you get kind of a chest workout too, which is very strange. I think it's just for the stability, which is what the chest is mostly for anyway. But yeah, that's probably right there in terms of bang for your buck. In terms of wellness things, 10 bucks. You know, if there's another lockdown, if there's a quarantine, get one of these. Yeah, I mean, they're just absolutely priceless. Now, what is very difficult to get your hands on these days, and I was very fortunate in that a friend of mine, shout out to Judean, gave me a 50-pound kettlebell. And yeah, this has been huge for me. This has been huge. You know, right now, this is getting a kettlebell. It's like trying to buy a black market weapon or something like that. These things are so difficult to get your hands on. 50 pounds for me is perfect. I will literally do this. I'll just walk around my house holding it. This improves my grip strength. It gives me a transverse abdominal exercise, which is really, really good for your back and just general strength. You know, walking around with a suitcase walk is really, really good for you. I'll also do one-legged deadlifts with them. Really good for your medial glute, really good for your hamstring flexibility. Honestly, when it comes to kettlebells, I mean, they really are the bee's knees. They're the shit. So I'm gonna put this band on because with this weight, it seems to mess up my skin and my hairs. But when I do, you know, I put this up here and I hold it, you can see the amount of core activation I have to have. And I can do lunges with it, and it's extremely difficult, and it basically becomes more of a core workout than a leg or lunge workout. Almost everything becomes a core workout when you're doing unilateral workouts with a kettlebell. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's all the stuff that I have here. I could show you some other stuff. I mean, this kind of weird thing, I sleep on the floor. I have like a Japanese futon. It's not entirely on the floor anymore. I have like bamboo tatami mats on the ground and like a memory foam, but it's on the floor. That's a really, really big one for back pain. I strongly advise, if you have back pain and you've tried different mattresses, you know, they always tell you if you have back pain, the more firm, the better. And when I read that, I was like, well, what's more firm than the ground? So I started sleeping on the ground, and it works. It really works. So that's a really big one, is sleeping as close to the ground as you can, as you can comfortably. And yeah, I think that's it. That's pretty much all the tools and little wellness things that I have. In the comments, give me some questions if you want to know prices or whatever for any of this stuff, or how to use it, or if you couldn't get it to work. Just let me know what you think, if this is helpful. Yeah, this is kind of a new style video that I'm trying to do just because it's easier. And let me know what you think, guys, all right?